Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to continue reading throughout the entire Action Bible. Excuse me. So, let's see where we left off real quick. Okay. This is based on Jonah. Obviously, everybody knows Jonah and the whale, which we really don't know if it was a whale or not, just a large fish. But that's how, it's played out to be. Could have been a whale. So let's go and get into this. Like I said, this is based on the book of Jonah. It says, God sends a message to Jonah, a prophet of Israel. He says, go to the corrupt city of Nineveh. Because Nineveh, the whole city was just, evil. It was just wicked, full of wicked people. Much what we see now, really. And tell the people, if they don't turn away from their sins, I will destroy them. And see, God gives people a chance. He gives people a chance. And that's even why it says, if somebody goes to hell and we have perfect opportunity to tell them about the Lord and to repent, and they go to hell because of their sins, and that's on us. But if we tell them, if we explain to them to repent, and they choose not to, and they go to hell because of their sins, that's on them. And God gives everybody an opportunity. And just like he had to do with Noah, destroy the world because of their evil, he says he will here as well. Jonah immediately, well, not the world, but Nineveh. Jonah immediately makes his way to Joppa, a busy seaport town with ships going to all corners of civilization. There he inquires of a ship's captain. Where's this ship going? And he says, to Tarshish. Is that close to Nineveh? Oh, I'm sorry. It's the opposite direction from Nineveh. And he says, perfect. So instead of obeying God's command, he thinks he can hide from God by hiding in a ship and going in a different direction than what Nineveh is, to be away from it. He didn't want to go there because he knew how bad the place was. Having paid for his journey of disobedience, Jonah boards the ship. I'm sorry, God, I can't go to such a filthy, despicable place as Nineveh. But God isn't about to let Jonah get away from his duty that easily. He hurls a great storm at Jonah's ship. And as, the waves are crashing, risk of sinking, the ship is going to break apart in this wind. Throw the cargo overboard. It's our only chance. But the storm only rages on more fiercely. Someone must have angered the gods, as they say. Gods, many people believe in multiple gods when there's only one. It wasn't me, I don't think. Although Jonah knows that God is angry with him, he doesn't admit to the sailors that his disobedience is cause of the storm. In the desperation, they draw straws and find out who has angered the gods. Jonah, what did you do to anger your God so? I know the one true God, and I am not doing what he has asked me to do. Just throw me overboard to my death, and then God will let your ship go. So he knew that he had angered God, in a way. He knew that he had disobeyed God. That's why he said, throw me in the water. Let me die in the water, and you will be okay. But the sailors don't want to throw Jonah into the sea. They try to row back to land, but the sea gets even more rough. We'll never make it. It's getting worse. We have no choice. We'll have to throw Jonah overboard. Lord, don't be mad at us for overthrowing this man into the sea. Look, what is that thing? As a large fish, Jonah assumes he will drown, but God doesn't intend to let him off the hook that easily. Lord, help me, as he calls out. He's swallowed by a fish. Now, I want you guys to take this into consideration. If you were actually swallowed by a large creature like that, obviously you'd be swallowed. You would fall into their stomach. In the acid in their stomach would break you down. It would kill you. There's no oxygen in a fish like this. There's no, air like that. But yet Jonah goes into this whale, or fish, I should say, survives, isn't consumed by the acid, isn't swallowed up, isn't deprived of oxygen. It's almost impossible. But nothing is impossible to God. He controls everything. But Jonah's not dead. God keeps him alive inside the giant fish for 3 days and 3 nights. This gives him lots of time to think and pray, and maybe realize how arrogant it was to disobey his Lord. Lord, I have called out to you, and you saved me. The waters were all around me, but you kept me safe. You are the one who saves. God hears Jonah's prayer and makes the fish spit him up on dry ground. Now do what I have commanded. Once again, God tells Jonah to go to Nineveh. This time, Jonah obeys. And he goes to the city of Nineveh. He says, turn away from your sin, or the whole city will be destroyed. This is what God says. And when God does punish you like you deserve, don't say I didn't warn you. But to Jonah's surprise and dismay, the people actually listened to him. To show how sorry they are, they put on black clothes, even the king. This is a royal order. Call out to God with all your hearts. Stop doing evil, and God might take pity on us. God sees the people of Nineveh have turned away from their sin. Then true to his holy word, he does not destroy them after all. And Jonah doubted it. He didn't think that, that they would do it. He doubted God. But, they did. They did turn from their sins. And even if we can do the same now, sometimes people, will yell at you, scream at you, laugh at you, mock you, or whatever. As Jesus said, the world hated me and it will hate you. But, other people will deeply listen. And it may, change your lives. Or even maybe years later, maybe they mock you and all that stuff, but maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, it may come to a time in their life where they start to dwell on that moment. And they start to reconsider what, how they're living. And they may come to God through that time as well. So Jonah does not take God's change of heart very well. I should have known, even when people are scum and deserve to die, you show them mercy. Lord, just kill me if this is the kind of work you're going to ask me to do. But God scolds Jonah for his attitude. You're always too willing to die, and your pride. But there are 120,000 people in the city of Nineveh, and I desire that they have the chance to live. Okay, so after next week, we're going to start learning about the 4 prophets that speak to God's people in different ways. One of them is Hosea. The other one is Amos, Joel, and then Micah. So that is the next ones we're going to learn after that. And after that, we're getting into Isaiah, which I really love Isaiah. Isaiah actually talks about Jesus Christ's birth long before Jesus was even born or anything like that. It talks about his coming, which is really cool. And, these books were written many years ago, which, prove their existence here. It talked about a man that wouldn't be born for years and years and years later. And then he was born and he did the things that the Bible said he would do. So it's very cool. We'll get into that next week, though. Or next week, yeah. So I'll catch you guys then. As always, take it easy and God bless.